The total length of Incheon Bridge project is 21.483 kilometers, with 6 lanes provided. It consists of the West National Invested Road part, which connects the Incheon Airport Expressway with the airport New City. The East part, which connects the second Gyeonggi Expressway with New Songdo City in the Free Economic Zone. And the private investment part, which connects Yeongjong Island with New Songdo City in Free Economic Zone. The private investment part, the longest marine bridge in Korea, is composed of the following: the cable-stayed bridge, the approach bridge, and the viaduct bridge into the marine bridge, and the toll plaza area. Incheon Bridge has been designed to endure 9.27-meter difference of the tide ebb and flow, 1.68 meters per second of the current speed, 72 meters per second of the wind velocity, and the earthquake measuring 7 degrees on the seismic scale. Especially the cable-stayed bridge section, which has been designed to enable the passing of 100,000-ton vessels. Incheon Bridge, the longest cable-stayed bridge in Korea, has been planned with application of steel box girder with 800-meter span. Especially the pylon has been designed to have vantage point for aerodynamic stability. With the 238.5-meter high concrete inverted Y-shaped concrete pylon structure. The superstructure of the approach bridge will be made of continuous concrete box girder of 145 meters span in continuous 7 units. The substructure has been designed with the drill-piled foundation and rectangular hollow pier column. The superstructure of the viaduct will be made of pre-stressed concrete box girder of 50-meter span in continuous 5 units. The substructure has been designed as the pile bent type structure in the joining drill-piled foundation and pier column. For the slope section, which is close to the approach bridge, drilled pile foundation and circular pier column were applied for the design. To protect the bridge and ensure the passing vessel's safety, protection against impact from vessels of 100,000 DWT. Shipped impact protection will be installed at the cable-stayed bridge and some sections of the approach bridge. The construction will take the first step with the foundation of cable-stayed bridge, which is the main structure of this project. Especially the construction for the viaduct bridge, another main construction structure, will be commenced without installation of temporary trestle and even before the access road is built. Therefore, materials, personnel, and equipment will be supplied by marine transportation. And the casting yard is located and managed at Songdo, where the wharf is available. At the Songdo casting yard, the whole process for ordering, storing, fabrication, and delivering of rebar are managed together by applying the automatic system for rebar fabrication. For the first time in Korea, the automatic fabrication equipment for rebar cage is used for concrete drilled pile, and this process will make great improvements in quality and productivity. Also, the materials used in construction, including steel casing, rebar cage, PC house, PC girder, and precast span of the viaduct bridge and approach bridge, will be produced at Songdo Casting Yard and supplied by marine transportation. The cable-stayed bridge will be constructed with the method of using large-scale floating crane and derrick crane to erect the girder and cable after the construction of the pylon. The foundation of the pylon will be constructed by drilled pile foundation method with the diameter of 3 meters in the sequence of pile driving, excavation, installation of rebar cage, and placement of concrete. Then, the separately fabricated PC house will be installed, and the concrete will be placed inside after the rebar installation. For the pylon, automatic system climbing form work method will be applied, and the placement of the concrete will be arranged using marine batch plan. Precast crossbeam of pylon will be fabricated in advance for reduction of construction period. And for the installation, a heavy lifting method with the floating crane will be applied. After completion of the pylon construction, main deck plate box girder will be constructed by 3,000-ton floating crane. The other steel box girders produced at the steel deck fabrication factory will be transported by barge and erected by using the derrick crane. Then the cable will be installed in sequence. Approach bridge will be constructed by the FCM, which is the method that fabricated segment at the Songdo casting yard would be installed in balance with the pier table. For the foundation of the approach bridge, the same method with the pylon was applied. The climbing system formwork method will be applied for the pier. The large segment of the pylon and the small segment of the approach bridge will be fabricated at the Songdo casting yard. The match cast will be performed for ensuring the accuracy at the installation. The large precast span of the pylon will be transported from Songdo casting yard by 800-ton floating crane. And installed, then the derrick crane will be set up and the installation of the small segment will be prepared. Separately fabricated segment at Songdo casting yard will be transported by barge and installed using the derrick crane in sequence. To complete the construction of the viaduct bridge by FSLM, 50-meter superstructures fabricated at Songdo casting yard will be transported by floating crane and moving carrier. The steam curing for the superstructure of the viaduct will be performed after installing reinforcement into the superstructure mold and placing the concrete. The 50-meter span segments fabricated at Songdo casting yard will be shipped on the plate barge by overhead crane and installed, then transported to the floating crane. The first 3 segments will be directly installed by the floating crane, where the working depth is relatively sufficient. For the places where the depth of the water is insufficient, segments will be loaded on carrier by the floating crane. The segments will be erected by erection gantry in sequence. The carrier is